Hi, I'm Jimbo Clark, and welcome to the Box Sampler. What do we mean by a box sampler? It's the idea that just like a box of chocolates has different flavors, we're going to be sharing with you different flavors of the box. We've got a pre-packaged, pre-designed box, and we've unboxed more than 30,000 brains around the world. And we've had the opportunity of working with some really great organizations on using the box to implement mindset improvement. So, what is the box? The box is a living metaphor. The box is also a physical artifact. As we do the reflection process, we're getting them to draw, we're getting them to write, we're creating a meaningful artifact that they can take going forward to help them understand their thinking and understand the improvements to their thinking. Now, what does the box itself represent? Well, the outside of the box represents my public self. It represents how I look, how I appear, the things that I talk about, the way that I behave. The inside of the box represents our inner thinking. The physical box becomes a representation of how we understand, how we succeed, how we keep ourselves safe, how we connect with others. Sometimes the way that we do that worked in the past, but it may not work in the future. And that's why people tell you to think out of the box. As you go through that process, you're creating a map of your current thinking. This is a way of creating where we are now so that we can get to where we want to go. One of my facilitators calls this reflective thinking for non-reflective thinkers. It's a very user-friendly process. It connects to the whole person. It's fun, it's enjoyable, and it goes deep. Now, it may be deep, but it is also very energizing. And not just the part where you're putting the box on your head, but the overall process. People are happy to share with each other and to learn together in a relaxed and energized format. The box is very scalable. It goes from one-on-one to one-on-one thousand. We've done programs where one person has facilitated 400 people. The reason we can do that is because each person has their own box and they have their own experience, and we can scale out the sharing so you don't need a lot of support in running a large scale event. And the box is pandemic proof. It works face to face and virtually. The box is a mindset improvement tool. It makes our unconscious bias conscious. And once we have that level of consciousness, then we can make changes. And finally, the box is licensable. We have over 200 licensees around the world, and we'd love to welcome you into the Box Facilitator community. I'm just going to give you a few case studies around some of the common uses for the box. The first has to do with leadership and leadership development. And this photo is actually the C-suite from Walmart China. And we use the box with them to help them get beyond the professional relationship into a more empathetic, understanding relationship, both amongst the senior team and then also creating strategies to increase empathy with the people that they lead and their customers. The box is great for career development, particularly around those transitions from college graduate to worker, from high performer to manager, from manager to leader, from leader to executive. At each of these different transitions, you have to change your thinking. Every year, JP Morgan will use the box as a part of their onboarding to their new employees. But we've also used this in high potential trainings to help employees meet their maximum potential. And the box becomes a centerpiece of the whole program. It creates both the baseline and the aspirational thinking. It also creates something that you can come back to 6 months later and see how much you've changed. The whole phrase, think out of the box, is saying, think beyond your current limitations. But what's kind of missing from that phrase is once you think out of the box, you got to think back into a better box. We have a very clear and distinct creativity and innovation process that we use where the box is both a metaphor and a tool to help individuals, teams, and organizations think more innovatively, go out of the box, and then come back into a box with a better plan. The box shines at conferences. One of the hardest things to do in a conference is to do something that wows people and is memorable. And the box is just that. Not only does it create better thinking for your participants, they'll take photos, they'll share photos with friends. It becomes a memory for a lifetime. We use the box to help people see what their current sustainability mindset is, and then help them consciously create a more sustainable mindset that drives behaviors to do the things they can within their circle of influence, no matter how small or big that circle is. One of the challenges of aligning a team is that everybody has their own thinking. We use the metaphor of thinking out of the box as a way of getting teams to think out of their individual box and create a team box. We can align our team's thinking to a common goal. We create norms of behaviors and attitudes. We open new filters for communication, and we show to the world a united front as a team. One challenge with diversity and inclusion is unconscious bias. The box is actually a model of your unconscious bias. And it becomes a very powerful tool, not just for understanding my own thinking, but to have more empathy for what's really going on inside of other people instead of making all the judgments based on the outside that I can see. A number of companies are using this to roll out diversity and inclusion amongst their employees. And so, probably in the last 3 years, diversity and inclusion is the number one application for the box because it's so easy to spread out throughout the whole organization. With the box, you create a connector between my world and the other participants' world by having my world artifacts that I can share with partners by creating a shared experience, putting the box on your head, going out and taking photos without having a shared geography. It creates a deeper connection both to me and my thinking, but then also my ability to share that thinking and show that thinking to my partners. Before COVID, one of the hot topics was on work life balance. Now, work life balance has really shifted towards mental health. We've done hundreds of programs on how to open thinking up to what's emerging as opposed to holding on to what's been going on in the past, coming up with new ways of thinking and being to create more mental health, to create more balance in life. Mindset change is the core of every change management program. The box has a great way of getting people to understand the new future success image, to experience the uncertainty and the pressure and discomfort that comes from that new vision of the future versus our previous ways of doing things, and then dealing with that through making changes to how you think. And so change management starts with change mindset. And we've been using the box as a cornerstone to change management pieces in a number of different companies. Most recently was Janssen. With all the changes that are happening because of COVID, they needed to get some change in their leadership team and their management team. So we use the box as a way of them for them to open their thinking up, share with each other at a bit different level, and then align to a new goal together and start working on how do we get there. Now, it could be that you're interested in using this as a part of a larger process, maybe as an external facilitator who wants to integrate the box into your different programs, or as an internal trainer facilitator who would like to use it as part of a rollout. And so we do have the Certified Box Facilitator program. And it could be that you say, well, I'd rather hire a facilitator than delivering it myself. And we have about 200 facilitators around the world who can deliver both virtually and face to face around multiple topics. So if you would like to have the box delivered in your organization, we can deliver that for you. So the best way to do that would be to book a call and we can talk it through. So from the bottom of my box, thank you very much. And I just want to encourage you to go out there and do the unboxable.